Hello, crafty friends. Um, how did I start my other video? I am coming at you with video number 2. I think a full month after my first one. It might even be 5 weeks after my first video. Hopefully with much better audio. I uploaded that first video knowing that the audio was pretty crappy. I recorded it on my phone. I'm still using my phone, but I recorded it on my phone, which I know has bad audio for some reason. But this time I have a cheapy little microphone that hopefully won't be too distracting here, kind of just hanging in the middle of my shirt. I did choose a very bad time to want to start recording stuff. I was in the middle of a move. I have now moved. I left the apartment where I was living for school. And I'm currently with my parents. We had like a 10-day window that my lease ended, and the new place I'm about to move into isn't ready until the 23rd of July. So I'm chilling with my parents. And then I'm moving to Western Pennsylvania. Yay! I got a job and I start August 1st. So I want to give myself some time to settle in, explore the area. I'll be about an hour away from Pittsburgh. So I'm excited to explore both the city, town, really, where I'll be living, and Pittsburgh itself. So, yay! If anybody has recommendations of what I should check out, please let me know. Since my last video, I have had 2 start and finishes in CrossStitch. I have 2 whips for CrossStitch, and then I have 1 crochet start and finish. And then I also grabbed a couple little things that were previous projects of other hobbies that I wanted to show off. Most of everything else is packed away, but I had a couple things handy that I could show. And yeah, that is my plan of attack. So these are my first finished products. Let's actually hold that up properly. Yay! This is the Crafty Goose pattern by Frizzy Lizzie Stitches. And I was actually inspired by Thick Threads to edit it in this way. His says he's a crafty gay, and he has such fun fabric and fun colors of the thread. I highly recommend you go watch it. I think it was in his first Flosstube video that he shows it off. I went a little bit more, I don't want to call it basic because I like what I did, a little bit more neutral, even though it's rainbow. I had this fabric from Stash already. It's 14 count Ada, I believe. And I did go out and buy the DMC because I don't have a huge DMC stash. Little picture, yay! I don't have a huge DMC stash, so I did go out and buy this. I don't think I used any of the colors from the original pattern. Or maybe the Goose's body is from the original pattern. Anyway, so this was a super fast project. It was so fun to work up. I have finished just the stitching, and I plan to mail this. It's a gift for 2 different friends, and I plan to mail it to them so that they can decide how they want to finish it. If you notice, I had 2 different patterns of the rainbow. This one I did kind of Roy G. Biv, Vib G. Yor. And then this one I just did Roy G. Biv, counted out so that it was even across. I got super lucky that there was 14 letters in She's a Crafty Gay, so it worked out really well for the distribution of my colors. I have told my friends, Erica and Jess, that this is for them, but I was sneaky when I was first working on it because I honestly couldn't decide which pattern of the rainbow lettering I liked better, and so I did both of them, and I put a poll on my Instagram story, and they voted differently, and so that worked out perfectly so that one was for each. I need to decide which one I like better because I also want to make myself one. I have just enough fabric left for a third Crafty Gay, and I want to make myself one, and then we'll all have matching sets and it'll be so cute. Like I said, I'm sending this to them so that they can decide how to fully finish it. But I was at Michael's the other day and I got a frame on sale, and it's the perfect size. It actually might be a touch big, so maybe there'll be a little bit too much empty space, but I don't mind. I think it'll be perfect. So yeah, yay! So those are my cross-stitch start and finishes. And now onto the works in progress, which I keep in this really cute project bag. This is actually for yarn projects, so crochet and knitting, but you know, there's no rules for this type of thing. You can put whatever you want in here. But it says support your local yarn store. I got this from a local yarn store in South Dakota when I was there back in February, and I think it's so cute. It's this like green mesh. I don't know how to describe project bags, but it's delicate. And one of the crochet tubers, I don't know what the crochet tubes are called, but TL Yarn Crafts, I love watching her videos, and I love her product review videos especially. And she always talks about these delicate bags with the Q snaps, and one of the things she always mentions is how satisfying the snaps are. So some ASMR. Very satisfying, and they can hold so much. Again, it's meant for yarn, so I can't tell you how much yarn project it holds because I haven't actually really used it for that yet, but I was able to fit like 4 different cross-stitch projects at a time, especially because it has this front pocket that I can put the threads and some instrument, what are they called, like scissors and accoutrement in the front, and then the back pocket fit everything, including my work in progress. So this is, what is it called? I'm going to open this down here because it's the chart. Oh, here we go. This is Silhouette Bear Cross Stitch by Loops and Threads, a kit that I got from Michael's. If I have a picture of what it looked like last time, this is what it looked like last time that I showed it. And this is what it looks like now. So I'm very, very close to being done. Stats for this. I don't know what the count of the fabric is. I'm going to guess 14 count because I feel like that's probably the most common. And since it's from a kit, it's probably 14 count. One of the major qualms I have with this is that right here, I don't know if you can read, it says project time 10 to 12 hours. In what world did this take only 10 to 12 hours for someone? Maybe I'm a slow stitcher, but I feel like I have put in like at least double that, if not more. I haven't timed myself. I do love when people have the stats for that, but I am very new to cross stitching, and I'm even more new to wanting to show it off, as you can maybe tell by the fact that I have no organization to showing off my projects. But it has to have been more than 12 hours. And I'm sat here wondering how the heck 10 to 12 hours. Absurd. Anyway, so I'm very close to finishing this. I very purposely left these silhouettes for the end because what I want to do is, well, okay, backstory. I did include this in my first video, but honestly, I'm not going to tell people to go watch my first video because, like I mentioned, the audio is very crappy. But this kind of lime green looking mountain silhouette is 2 different strand colors. It's the lime greeny color and 1 strand of white. And I thought that was really fun. That combined with watching Jason X Stitches combined 2 different threads in one of his projects has inspired me to try to do that for the bears. Originally, it's charted to be black, both of them. And I thought it would be fun to do 1 strand black and 1 strand of that lime green color maybe, or this kind of blue-green color. So I want to play around with it. I'll probably test it out kind of here on the edge because I'm worried since the silhouettes are in the middle of a bunch of other thread that all messed it up, but we'll see. So hopefully next time I record a video, this will be fully done. And it's made, obviously the circle is made to finish in a hoop, but I want to see if I can find a hoop with a kind of darker wood. It's just kind of this color, regular color hoop, and I think it would be cuter if it were a bit of a darker wood, but we'll see. In the meantime, I probably will just display it in that hoop because it's really freaking cute. I have the aesthetic in mind to make kind of like a gallery wall of flora, fauna, woodsy decorations, both cross-stitch and other things. So this will be a perfect addition for that. So my other work in progress is one that I've been calling Cowboy Advice. It doesn't have a pattern, so I don't have a finished thing to show you. Actually, I can show you. This is what it's supposed to look like when it's done. I'm trying to recreate it off of this picture that was from Reddit. The Reddit post used to link, it does link to an Etsy store for the pattern, but the Etsy store doesn't exist anymore, and I have been wanting to make this for years, and I decided to just go off of the picture. I can zoom and like count the stitches. I don't know if that's ethical to do necessarily. I don't recommend it in case it is not ethical, but I'm not going to sell it. It's just for personal, so hopefully that's okay. But this is what it looked like the last time I showed it off, and this is what it looks like now. Yay! I have been putting off the possum, the cowboy possum that goes in this big empty space for so long. I finally started the cowboy hat literally last night, but I have been putting it off for so long because, like I mentioned, I'm doing it just by sight based off of the picture, and that also means that the color matching has just been a total crapshoot. I have not got the threads here next to me, but I have like 4 different browns for the hat, a couple different white, cream, gray for the head of the possum, and a couple pinks for the mouth. And so I'm hoping that between all of that, I have enough to make do, but I need to just get out of my head about it. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's for myself. It's a silly project. Even if it's not great, at least I put myself out there. I learned a new skill. I definitely learned to be appreciative of people like doing the designing and the color and the shading and everything, because if I had my way, I would make the hat one color and it would look so flat and one-dimensional. I saw this video on Instagram the other day of someone that was upholstering a chair, and they were saying that they were putting it off for so long because it was a skill that they thought was super advanced compared to their current skill set, and they were like, just do it scared. And I took that video as a sign. I'm just going to do it scared, even if it comes out crappy. I did it. I tried. I gave it my all. So, yeah. Hopefully, again, the next time I show myself in a video, I will have that done. So I actually used to have another work in progress. It was a little disco ball. Here's the picture of the pattern, or of what it was going to look like. I had gotten such a baby, tiny little start on it, and I had it with me when I went to visit my best friend, and her son saw me cross-stitching and he was interested and wanted to learn. And so the only thing I had with me that I thought I could give up because I wasn't going to give him any of my other works in progress was this little disco ball. And so I gave him the fabric, I gave him some thread, I showed him how to make some X's, but I am a self-proclaimed bad teacher. And so just the fact that I could even show him how to do crosses was great. So I was not going to push my luck and try to teach him how to read a pattern. So I just gave him the freedom to do whatever he wanted. And this kid, he was doing little pink X's on black fabric, and he was like, oh, it looks like stars. And so then he decided to just freestyle the Big Dipper. So I thought that was so fun and so cool to see his creativity run wild. Here's a picture of how it came out. I thought it was so precious. His birthday's in December. Maybe I'll try to give him a beginner cross stitch. I tried cross stitching when I was probably his age, and I sucked. And then I immediately lost interest because I sucked. And then I never tried again until now as an adult. If anybody has some recommendations for good kid-friendly kits that I can gift him, I think that would be very fun. We'll see if he still has interest. I know how little kids can, it's right in front of their face, so they're interested in it. I won't blame him if he's no longer interested in it by December. But in the meantime, if people have recommendations, I'll look into it and see if maybe that's something that he'll want. Well, that was a lot faster than anticipated. Oh, no, this was my cross stitch section. The next thing I did was a start and finish for crochet. So my best friend is having a birthday. Her birthday is July 27th, and she's throwing herself a little birthday party, and it is marijuana themed. And so I got her a bunch of like hemp flavored or hemp scented like lotion and some body wash, and I found a book talking about like medicinal properties of cannabis. And she very specifically mentioned that she wanted a little crochet weed nugget. So I got this pattern called Nouglas. I'll link it below if it lets me. I think I might be too new to have a hyperlink or anything, but I will put the details below. I got the Bernat blanket yarn. I took off, I have the information right here. I was going to say I took off this belly band. Some Bernat blanket yarn in the color smoky green. And I made an ugly creation. He's so ugly, but I also kind of love him. I got 18 millimeter eyes. I can't remember what they're called. Safeties. Got 18 millimeter safeties. And then I also tried to make him look a little more fluffy with some embroidery floss. I'm stalling. I don't want to show him. He's so ugly. Look at him. He's so ugly. Anyway, I gave him little eyelids to try to make him look high. But I don't know if that actually helped or not. My friend specifically requested this, so she better love it. I can't take myself seriously. I had made, or started making anyway, one with an 8 millimeter crochet hook, and I was like, dang, this is really tiny. So I sized up to a 10 millimeter hook, and it didn't make it that much bigger, but whatever. Here's he. And this one I plan to finish without any safeties and without the little floss details. And maybe it can be a little toy for her cats. All right. So that was the only other thing that I worked on between the last video and now. And for this final little section, I figured I could show a couple previous projects that I did. So I do have these tiny little crochet figurines that I made. I actually got into crochet with amigurumi. I made a cow as my very first project, and I gifted it. I like doing these projects because I love the manuality. I don't know what's the word. I like the process, but I don't necessarily want to keep all of the things. Also, side note, I'm bilingual. I speak Spanish. And so the manuality is me literally trying to translate manualidad, which is doing something with your hands. Anyway, so I love the process of doing the craft, but I don't necessarily want to keep the end product. So a lot of the things I've made, I've actually gifted. So the cow, I gifted to a friend. Then I made these tiny little These tiny little Marvel figurines. These were from a kit. I don't know the company that made them, unfortunately. This was probably from like a year ago. But here's a tiny, tiny little Spider-Man. I have felt eyes somewhere for him to have a face, but I never actually glued them on. I will say embroidery is so hard. I can cross stitch, but trying to make this little spider, can you even tell that's supposed to be a spider? Probably, because it's Spider-Man and we all know what he has on his chest. But that was freaking hard. So there's Spider-Man. And Captain America is so stinking cute. Again, embroidery on his shield. Is that focusing? Embroidery on his shield. So freaking hard. But it's so stinking cute and so stinking small. I think that's what makes it so cute. But anyway, his little shield. Some embroidery on his hat. I'm actually quite proud how that A came out. Helmet, not hat. Look how freaking cute. I don't think I stuffed his head enough because look how wonky. Gosh, I'm just showing you my best work here, guys. Look how cute he is. Oh man, I hope you think he's as hilarious as I'm finding him. I need to figure out how to display these guys because they just roll around in whatever bag or tote I keep my craft stuff in, but these are just too stinking cute to be hidden away. So that's another crochet project. Lastly, I wanted to show you another bone craft. This is not completely done, so I do plan to add a little bit to it, and so maybe I'll be able to show you it again. But this is a deer skull that I got from a friend. This piece of wood is just something that I got either at Michael's or Hobby Lobby, and I attached the skull with some nails, so I could in theory remove it if I decide to display it a different way, but it was actually quite difficult to get it to sit on the nails, so hopefully I decide for a long time that I like it like this. And then I decorated it with some fake moss, and I made these two little mushroom looking decorations out of some oven baked clay. And so the only other thing that I want to do to it is to make some more mushroom or other earthy decorations to put right there. And then this will be done. So talking about that gallery wall, one of the things that I will hopefully have up on the wall are these bone decorations interspersed with maybe some prints or a painting and my cross stitching. So we shall see. I am moving to a place that is fully furnished, which is a blessing. It's going to make it so much easier to move in. But at the same time, I do want to decorate it and give it my own personal touch. I'm not allowed to put any holes in the walls, understandable. So it'll be everything that I can put up on a gallery wall with command strips. I got like 3 different patterns between the last video and now. I got myself some as like a congrats, you're hired and employed, woohoo. So I got the patterns, but I've held off on getting any fabric or thread or anything like that. I got one of the patterns I got was the Crafty Goose, which I did end up already making because I had the fabric and a vision for it. One of the patterns that I got was this one here. I think it's called See You in Spring. I was inspired. I'd seen it on Jason X CrossStitch's channel, and it was so cute, and I love it. So I'm going to try that. It does have some advanced stitches, so we'll see. Maybe I won't work on it immediately next, but it has fractional stitches, which I've never done. And I think I need to do a little bit more research before I really know how to do them. And then I got this other one of I think it's a fox skull. I think that the title says something about a goat skull, but Goats do not have canines because they are herbivores. So I believe it's a fox skull. And again, totally up my alley for that gallery wall. And then lastly, I got this one, which I can't remember the name, but I will include it on the screen as well. So super excited. Oh, and yesterday on a whim, I bought a pre-order for the Twigs and Tea Sal. It'll be my first stitch along. I'm super excited. It's by Frog Stitching is their name. I should have checked that before I made this video, but that's okay. It's by Frog Stitching and it will start end of August. So that gives me some time to decide if I want to go for the recommended fabric or if I want to branch out and kind of experiment for my first dyed fabric that I get. I got the silver bundle, which came with some stickers and the needle minder. I'm very excited about the needle minder. I will have pictures of what is currently available to look at now. And I'm very excited. The description sounded also right up my alley. It's a tea party with some woodland critters. And after seeing the Court of Crows on social media, I am looking forward to getting to work on one of their works. And it's a Latina-owned business, so gotta support. I probably should have done this earlier in the video, but a couple shout outs that I wanted to make. I already mentioned him a couple times throughout the video, but Jason from Jason X Stitches sent me such a lovely message on social media after I mentioned him in my first video, and he welcomed me to the community and he sent me just some really sweet words of encouragement. So thanks again for that, Jason. I'm very excited to kind of explore the crafting community virtually. I also will be, once I'm settled into my new place, I'm eager to find some crafting friends in person. So if you're in Western Pennsylvania, hit me up, please. Other people that I've been watching on Flosstube, I recently discovered Sleepy Goblin Crafts, I think is their handle. That is how I became familiar with the Court of Crows style. They are working on that, and I've really enjoyed seeing their updates on their Flosstube. And Thick Threads, who I also mentioned. I was inspired by his, not edit, but his own flair on the Crafty Goose, and I sent a comment on his video that inspired me, and I was like, oh my gosh, I want to make my own, and now I did it. So yay, go crafting community. I'm very excited to do more and be able to show off more, and now I'm just rambling, so I'm going to cut it off there. Hope everybody has a great week. Stay cool if you're in the northern hemisphere. It is hot as balls over here, so I'm going to go lay spread eagle so that I can cool down. Okay, bye. I keep trying to record this in one fell swoop, but with the power of editing, I don't need to. So let's try again.